Hey guys, welcome back to the Vid-Bits. I'm Bray, and tonight I'm going to be showing you some of my favorite spots to skate in Skate 3. Without further ado, oh shit, I need to mute my TV. Give me 1 second, y'all. There's my remote. I don't want you guys to hear a double up. So, I always spawn here. Every single time I start this game up, I spawn here. Like, just because there's so many different areas I could go to. I love doing this spot right here. Of course I miss it. Like, every time I decompress after a stressful activity, I'm just trying to play games for fun, I just love hitting this spot. Because there's so many potentials for good grinding. There's a lot of speed you can build up. So, just starting from here is just fun. Some of my favorite moves to do are like the kick flips or pop shove-its. Obviously, this is a must whenever you're in this area. Just hitting that gap right there, super fun. Sometimes when I'm hitting this spot, I'm able to do like a front flip, but I'm not really super consistent with the flipping moves. I don't know the window quite yet. Obviously the hold moves are super fun, but then obviously you can go back to the marker. Sometimes I'll even elevate this lower spot here by running all the way up. So I make my way all the way up here, and then I will jump up here for a little bit of air. And then, so let me just set the marker. It's just fun because you can kind of mix it up a bit. Sometimes you can get up on the ceiling if you do it right. So sometimes I'll do like a manual. It makes it easier to wall ride. Here, I'm gonna try to get a little bit of speed built up. I don't really do any of the speed glitches because I don't know how they work. So I just kind of stick to it naturally. That was weird. Why did I snap to the wall like that? I lost all of my speed. You can kick off the wall there. I mean, like, if I play for multiple hours, I start hitting some pretty cool grinds and stuff. I've got some clips that I've been casually storing away just for a rainy day. Because I don't know, I don't post shorts too often anymore. I'm really focusing on that long form grind and live streams and stuff. Oh, I knew I was done for. Here, let's go to another spot. This one's not very far from here actually, and this is a very recognizable skate spot. Oh, I got despawned. I went too far out of the bounds, evidently. I'll just do it this way. This spot is very recognizable. It's like the start of the drainage ditch. I could probably travel there. University District. No. Sorry, I'm not super familiar with how the map works. University ditch, right? So, university. Oh, the observatory. I think I can get to it from here. The observatory is a great spot to start because you got the start of the ditch over here on the left, and then you have another one of my favorite spots on the right. Any area where I can get a lot of speed or hit a lot of tricks in succession, I'm a big fan of those. Or grinding spots. Shit, I'm dumb. I did not hit that well. It's just funny because I play this game so casually, so it doesn't really bother me that I'm not super good. But when I get into it and I'm just playing for extended periods of time, I don't know. It's super satisfying to me to be able to improve, because in a lot of games I feel like I'm either I haven't played them at all, or I know them very well. Like, the games I play, I know well. But this game, I feel like I'm constantly finding new spots, even though it's from 2010, which is crazy. Like, I was only 5 when this game came out. Like, when it initially came out, because I'm a 2005 baby. You know, I turned 18 this year. So it's just kind of crazy to me that this game is only... How old is it? 13? Sorry, I'm just paying attention. So yeah, like the fact that this game is kind of dated, even as far as the Xbox 360 is concerned. This was was decently early in the life cycle. It still holds up, and the whole series does, really. I haven't played Skate 2, but Skate 1 within itself offers a lot of fun. If you're a fan of skateboarding tricks, and if that's your bag. That was sweet. Come on, I'm trying to hit one of them. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, guys. There it is. Oh, baby. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I love hitting those. Man, that is so sweet. Alright, and this is another cool spot. Oh, that was awkward. I just wish that I would have played these games sooner. Like, I played Skate 3 towards the end of the Xbox 360's life cycle. So it was just like, there were years where I could have had a passive experience where I just casually had fun like this, and I would have loved it. Because it's also an intuitive control scheme, in my opinion. Like, to have, like, jumps be done, like, by controlling the right sticks. So, like, a pop shove it is kind of like going down and to the left a little bit. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's that interesting that I feel like I can't even explain how the gameplay really works. I'm sure someone who has put thousands of hours into this game can probably explain it a little bit better. But like, the way you flick the stick around and you know the different combinations of moves that you can pull off. I have always been a bigger fan of Skate than the Tony Hawk games. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of the Tony Hawk games. Like, I play a couple of them because they're like cult classics, and I can see the appeal in those ones. But as a whole, I feel like Skate just has a better control scheme to me. I don't really like the way that Tony Hawk incorporates the bumpers. This actually leads me into my next area while I'm in this spot. Let me see. I have to flip through and like see what the locations look like. Here we go. Hartley Stadium, another iconic area. Not to mention like the way that the story works in this game, which I've only like kind of scratched the surface of what the Skate 3 story is. I know it's mainly just like selling boards and kind of gathering fame. But like, I don't know. I think Coach Frank is goofy as hell. I love him. Love him to death. Okay, so where should I start? I mean, jumping the shark is always fun. So I'll do this spot real quick and give it some attempts. Sometimes it's hard for me to stay. Come on, I need to back up some more. That's what it is. Blame it on that. Shit. That's why I normally, if I remember correctly, I always start doing a manual into this one. Holy shit, that was wild. I love flipping hold tricks, because they just defy the laws of gravity, really. Like, this game in general is not an accurate skating game, but it's fun. It's so goofy that it's fun. Very over the top. I know that nobody could really accomplish some of the skating tricks that you can do in Skate, but I'm just a big fan overall. Alright. So is that the first clear of it? Ooh, that was nasty. Love to see it. This is one of the more basic areas. I'm not a big fan of the clock tower area personally. There's just very limited spots here. So let's go back to here, and not to mention the goofy ass ragdoll physics in this game. I love them. Like the way the characters just completely collapse almost. This is the spot I was talking about. Start here. I hit one of my favorite clips of all time here, where I just got such a good successive grind, and then I just kept the momentum all the way down into the skate park below. Like, to me, these kind of moments like this are just so enjoyable within themselves, no matter how basic. Oh shit. I don't know. This game will never lose its luster, really. I'm just excited to see what Skate 4 has to offer, truly. Like, if they're actually planning to top this, I know they're just gonna call it Skate. I kind of hate that. I hate resetting a franchise, per se. Like, when Call of Duty did their whole, like, nuke the series and call the things by the plain titles again, you know, how we got back to Modern Warfare 3. Like, how Modern Warfare 3 is already a game, and we have Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3 starting from 2019. Just so dumb. The naming conventions will forever confuse me. For no reason. It just doesn't need to be like that. You know what I mean? Like, truly, that's how I feel. Like, don't completely reset the series. Like, there's already a game called Skate, so they should probably just call it Skate 4. But I guess because everyone who's not internally calling it, I don't know, like, everyone else is calling it Skate 4 anyways, so why don't they just call it Skate 4? I guess that's what I'm getting at. Like, internally they're just calling it Skate again. This is just dumb. Because I'm gonna call it Skate 4 when it comes out, because it's the successor to this game. Unless they really plan on starting over and having a new line of Skate games in the future, which would be very ambitious, but it really is all dependent on how this game turns out. Love stuff like that. It's weird, I've never really had to talk about this game. I'm always just playing it, but this is one of my favorite skate parks, just because of the amount of times that you can get air. You can literally just, like, trick around in the gravity, almost like how the game pulls you back to the ground. It's just very aesthetically pleasing for some reason to me. Like, very satisfying. Let's start back up the top. I'm gonna focus all about getting speed going into the bottom area. So that's goofy. And I do not have a well customized or cool skate character by any means. I made this character whenever I started playing, which was shit, I don't know the year. Like I said, it was late Xbox 360. That's how I date it in my mind. I know that it was only a little bit before I got the Xbox One that I even played this game. It's just weird to me that I can, like, I do date periods of time in my head based off of what games I was playing. I'm sure a lot of other people could probably understand that feeling, or like they feel that way themselves. But truly, I feel like a lot of the games that I played at the time, just like when I play them, I just feel how I felt then, and that's why I like them. Even though, like, they may not be the best games, it's just like the nostalgia is so powerful that if I can bring myself to tears just by listening to a game soundtrack, then I feel like it's worth it to me to have that as a time capsule. Like, I know that sometimes when you play a game too much, it doesn't necessarily provide the same level of enjoyment every time. But some games really just, they may be dated in the way that they were created or what kind of tech they were using when they launched the game. Like, this game isn't impressive graphically, but it's fun mechanically, and that's what's important. Like, the mechanics in gameplay, in the gameplay loop, are the most important things to a game, because it's the soul of what a game is. Like, gameplay is the forefront of the experience, not aesthetic at all. So games are so focused on aesthetic now, but think about the lack of gameplay that they provide, the lack of replayability. We still are going back and playing and remaking and remastering games from probably 2012 to 2016, and it's like, that's just indicative of the market. Like, the market hasn't evolved since then. So that, like, now we're all on battle passes and microtransactions. Like, legitimately, I haven't bought a COD game since, I mean, the most recent COD games I've bought are older COD games, just because I wanted to experience them with Dad. But legitimately, I haven't bought a game since Cold War. That was a gift, so I didn't really buy that one. But the last time I really invested in a COD title was Cold War, and I wasn't really keeping up with the series even then. The last time I really cared about Call of Duty was Black Ops 3. Truly. I mean, I liked Infinite Warfare, but relevancy-wise, to me personally, I feel like it peaked at Black Ops 3. That's why when you see me playing those maps with Dad, I have so much joy, because I haven't really gone back and played those with friends, or, you know, in this case, family. Like, I had played those experiences all with a group of friends that are now long gone. My Xbox friends list is dead. It's a graveyard. And I think a lot of people can empathize with that experience, where you feel like either people changed their names so many times that you couldn't keep up with them, or what the hell was that? Or they just, like, kind of stopped caring. I mean, it takes a lot of motivation to try to stay connected. It's like a pen pal, in a way. Online friends truly do feel like the modern age's pen pal, in the sense that, like, you really are only keeping up with people because you care about how they sound, or their personality, or if they care about you. Like, not to be weird about it, but, like, if someone would sound, like, if you didn't like the way they talked, you're not going to keep up with them, even if they did have a cool personality. I wasn't that judgy, but a lot of people were. I feel like I kept up with, like, I played with such a wide variety of gamers when I was playing on the 360 and Xbox One. I played with middle-aged men. I played with, you know, people who were younger than me, 9, 10-year-olds. Like, it was just such a variety of people, where it always felt fresh. Like, the social interaction, like, I always felt like I was talking to a different kind of person. Like, you know, it wasn't ever like, it wasn't ever, I don't know how to put it, like, I never felt like it was just one type of player I was playing with. Certain communities had worse experiences than others. Like, I guess that's where such a fondness for me was created for Destiny, is because I found a lot of support in the gamers there. A lot of people really did want to help you become a better player, and I know a lot of people had similar experiences with other MMOs or live service games, or whatever model we're considering it now, like whether it be World of Warcraft or Starfield, not Starfield, shit, I don't know a lot of those other games, but a lot of the, like to me, a lot of online games can connect you with people in a way that you would never have connected with those people socially in real life. There would be no reason for you to. Why would you be talking to someone in their 30s or 40s who has a kid as a teenager? But if you all are connected in one unified task, like, hey, you all have to beat this one boss, or you all have to do these mechanics and to get to the next encounter. Like, that was always so cool to me, the fact that like I could talk to people who were very intellectual, people who are so smart. I love surrounding myself with minds who are smarter than my own. So like, to be able to talk about a variety of subjects, to be able to, you know, legitimately get to know people, even if it's over just a 2-hour experience, for me to connect with a variety of individuals, it's just such a unique experience. I think, you know, people talk about that all the time, that like they can't keep up with their real friends, so they play online games, and then they can't keep up with their online friends. Well, but it's like, I feel like there's more beauty in just each unique interaction. I don't know. I'd love to have a group of online friends to play with, but at this point, that's my time is just kind of dedicated to you guys. Anyone who watches the content. I mean, I don't know that I have a lot of time for extended play sessions that aren't going to be part of the channel, because this is just where I'm putting a lot of my energy. Like, I put a lot of intention into YouTube. I feel like I want people to know who me and Dad are as gamers. I feel like if we put all this personal time in for gaming, I want it to be just recognized, even to an extent. Like, Dad is capable of some crazy gaming accomplishments. The fact that my dad can beat, I will say this time in and time out, the fact that my dad can beat Mario 1, 2, and 3 in less than an hour, like, that's wild. Let me add up his combined time. It's on this board that's been ever present throughout my life. This board, this whiteboard with his scores on it, has evolved since I was a child, but it is the same board, and it's been written on so many times. Mario 1, 5 minutes and 47 seconds. So we'll just round it up to 6. Just so between Mario 1 and 2, he's only at 20 minutes. Then you got Mario 3. That's 13 minutes and 10 seconds. So that's 33. And then you got Mario World. So up to 47 minutes. So he can beat Mario 1 through 4 in 47 minutes. Like, I don't know that he's done it back to back to back, but if you look at the time frame, like, in less than an hour, he can accomplish something so, like, speed running wise, that's so awesome. Like, a lot of people can't do that, and he undermines his accomplishments all the time. So I guess I just wish he would recognize sometimes how capable of a gamer he is, even if he's not as awesome as he was in the heyday of his Halo 3 days, or when he played, you know, when he first got into first-person shooters. If he can't keep up in that end, like, none of those people that he's playing with on you know, Destiny or any of those online shooters that we used to play, like, none of those people could do the things he can do. So just because he's not putting his time into that doesn't mean that he's not a good gamer. If he put the time into any experience, I know he could be badass at it. I've seen it. I've like, it's night and day. You know, when he really gets that drive to do something, I know my dad's capable of damn near anything. And, you know, that's not just me gushing. Like, I've watched, like, him play, and it's inspired me to get into speedrunning. Like, that's a testament to how good of a gamer he is. Like, I would talk on the playground about the things my dad could do, and they'd be like, "Nuh-uh, you're lying." And I knew personally that they were wrong. My dad could beat Mario that quick. I remember when I was younger, and I tell this story all the time. Me, my sister, and my dad were all playing Mario 1. And he said I could play first, and then my sister could play second, and then he'd play last. So I got a couple levels in and died, and then it was my sister's turn, and we were all just kind of taking turns. And he could beat it in his one turn. You know, he was able to get to the end of the game and beat it in his one turn. And I remember we were all playing, and Dad beat the game, and my sister just became disinterested because she realized he could beat the whole thing, and neither of us could even scratch the surface. And it's like, I don't think that was my dad trying to be an asshole. I think to me it was inspiring. Like, it made me from that moment want to become as good of a gamer as he is. Like, because it's such a underrated experience being able to beat a game on different than how it was intended. You know, like those games were meant to have hours of replay value, and it's supposed to take you hours to get through. So it's that whole difficult or easy to play but difficult to master type of mentality, and I love it. That's why certain games are so appealing to me. Like games that you can evolve your capabilities over time. Like the more you play, the more you can see in the gameplay. Like some games, like they don't really have as much of that replay value to me. Like I can only be outplayed by someone else in an online title so many times. Like I love the competitiveness, but certain experiences people have peaked at. Like you're not going to see me going back and trying to become super skilled at Halo 3 multiplayer or Halo 4 multiplayer, because those guys know all the spawn peaks, they know all of the ins and the outs, and you play even the Master Chief Collection, and it's just, they know it so well. So, damn, I'm not going to want to try to get into that experience where people have already nearly mastered it. Like, that, to me personally, I'd rather go for things that I know are within my capability. Like, I know that I can move my time in DuckTales. I know that I could get really high up on that damn leaderboard. I know, given the right amount of time, if I learn the correct tech, I can definitely improve my DuckTales time by minutes. And as a speedrunner, that's great. When you know you haven't hit that wall and there's still something to go for, you're just challenging yourself. There's no other person you have to fight. It's just, are you capable of finishing this task you set forth for yourself? That's why games like Minecraft are awesome to me, because I can make a large-scale project and I can build it. Sure, a lot of the times I'm going to use someone else's blueprint, because I'm not an architect in that game. But to be able to make to build it, I mean, I'm still going to make the changes. I'm still going to, like, if I don't like how something looks, I'm going to alter it. I'm going to, like, I will get to the point where I can put together complex structures like my friends always could in Minecraft. But, I mean, my mind just couldn't put things together that way. But there are certain experiences that I feel like I have that particular brand of dedication and capability for, like, that I think I can hit, recognizable levels of skill. And ultimately, I need to just learn to be able to transfer that into anything else, because that motivation can be brought on in anything. I lack motivation in my entire life, but as far as YouTube goes, I mean, aside from a few experiences, I tend to have so much motivation for content creation. So that's why I feel like we've just kind of scratched the surface as far as that's concerned. Like, I don't know. I mean, I had a conversation with Dad earlier, and I feel like what he said kind of struck a chord, and I really hope it helps motivate me for the better. Like, I don't know. I always feel like I have to amount to some sort of expectation, whether that be from people in my life, whether that be from the internet or whatever. Like on YouTube, like I remember creating a channel on my own prior to when me and Dad started the Vid-Bits, and it just went nowhere, and I lost all motivation. And I just, looking back on that now, I'm just so glad that I stuck with it, because there's still so much room we have to improve on. We can get, we can have a better editing, like we can have a better editing situation, really, like, for lack of better terms. Like, I go for minimalistic editing because that's what I can do. I know that over time I will be able to improve my skills in editing and voiceover, and like when there's room to improve, something's appealing. When you feel like you've hit a wall, why do you do something anymore? That's ultimately kind of how I feel about a lot of things. If you feel like you've mastered things, or you can't make even small improvements, then it's not fun to do. Like, unfortunately, I'll call back to Mr. Know-It-All, who is a subscriber of ours, and he's a great guy. I love him to death. But like, I've seen how he killed his motivation for Call of Duty Zombies by obsessing over it for what he said was 12 years. Like, so I never want to do that to myself in anything. I never want to get to the point where my favorite thing becomes something that I hate doing, or something that I feel like I'm just doing because I'm so good at it. Like, I love being good at things, but I don't want to play something for the sake of being good at it. Then what's the point if there's no capability of improving? Like, those are become the toxic players, right? I wouldn't say that know-it-all is toxic, but I'd say that a lot of people are. The people you play who just expect you to know things, like in Rainbow Six Siege, for example. Those people who expect you to know every flank, know every camera location, know every fucking in and out of the game, not knowing how much skill you have, just expecting that that's something for you to know. I don't like that. That's just toxic. When I become a more skilled player at a game, I'm the first person to try to teach other people how to get to this level. When I was playing Destiny and I was putting obsessive hours of time, I was sherping people through raids all the time for fun, just for my own satisfaction. I would take people through 1 to 3 hour long experiences for fun, because I wanted them to have that satisfaction. Me bringing anyone else satisfaction brings me satisfaction. So if I'm making this person happy by helping them through something for their first time, then I can realize that I made that person a happier person, even if it's just for a brief moment, even if it's for 30 minutes, where we finally put it all together and we get through the damn thing. Like, if that's how like, it's almost like a group epiphany where you finally, like, you've been failing for 4, 5, 20 tries sometimes, like, when you finally put it all together, the whole group has this collective sigh of relief, and you're all so satisfied with yourselves. That's what a game should bring. A game should bring satisfaction in playing the game. The gameplay loop should be satisfying. That's what games are all about. It's about just having a different skill, and that, like, it's the same thing as like tabletop games. If you're a master in chess, it's satisfying. It's satisfying to be at that point where you've put all the pieces together and you know how the system works. But sometimes those are the same kind of people. Like, you become the best of the best, and then sometimes you have to outdo yourself, right? And if yourself is awesome and you can't outdo yourself because you're already awesome, then there's no satisfaction in it. Look at people who end up becoming scandalous or cheat in gaming, and that's because they couldn't top themselves. A lot of the times they're great gamers. A lot of time they do have real legitimate skill, but for some reason or another, they invalidate their own morals, and they get to the point where they realize that they can't top themselves, and they can't top up the new up-and-coming people, so they have to cheat. And that's so lame. That's the ultimate low that you can sink to when playing games, or like cheating, like whether that be, oh, I'm gonna mod in an online game, I'm gonna give myself overpowered shit, like, I don't know, or in Billy's case, cheat at an old school game and then just keep gaslighting everyone into thinking that you're really playing. And it's like, no one is just paying attention to this anymore. No one cares, Billy. We all know that you probably did do the perfect Pac-Man without cheating, but that doesn't mean that any of us respect you after the lows you sunk to. It's the same thing with Dream. Dream is the collective punching bag of the internet, because he cheated on a speed run that was minuscule. It wasn't even a good run. He wasn't even trying to fake like a godly run or anything. It was something stupid. When you can just completely compromise your morals, and you're I don't know, the ego. It's like you have to be a narcissistic individual. You have to really crave that spotlight. And then it's like, at that point, who cares? Nobody cares about you once you've cheated. Once you do that, it's over. Like, and that guilt has to eat at somebody. Truly, to me, that the guilt of knowing that you've done that has to hurt. Even if you can externally act like that's not the case, you still have to feel some sort of inner shame. Like, there's a difference between, changing the rules of a game to have fun and changing the rules of a game to best other individuals and make them think that you're playing legitimately. That's just lame. That's lame as hell. Like, nobody respects that at all. Time to change up the skate spot and change up the topic to something lighter. Me and Dad have just been talking a little bit, and we have a couple different projects on the horizon. Not sure how exactly it's gonna play out and what exactly it's gonna entail, but we really want to step up our game. We want to put more time in. We want to stream for longer. We want to impress you guys, but at the same time, we want to have fun. That's what this is all about. We want you guys to have fun because we're having fun. It becomes illegitimate if we're doing things to just solely make content. Because you look at a lot of people who do that, and it's just, it's hard to watch, almost. Like, when they're doing it just to do it, it's soulless. Like, look at the people who should have retired and they keep going. Like, they're not fun to watch anymore because like, to me, PewDiePie is not really fun to watch. He's a React channel now because of he has a large fan base and people will watch that. But, like, he's not a gaming channel. He doesn't really, I don't know, it's not the same as when he wanted to do that. When he was doing it for fun on his own, it was a lot more fun to watch. Not that I was the biggest PewDiePie fan or anything. That's just a general example that a lot of people would understand. I think that's why people like MatPat wanted to leave before they felt like they were doing things just to do things. And I think he already kind of felt that way. In my personal opinion, I feel like after a while he felt like he had to play niche horror games and had to cater to that style of content because of the expectations set by Five Nights at Freddy's. And he may have enjoyed playing Five Nights at Freddy's, but ultimately it ended up pigeonholing him to an extent and making it so people expected a certain brand of content from him. And that's why I felt like Food Theory was such a relief for him, because he could focus on a different brand of thing. He really kind of lost his passion for gaming because he played too much and it became his job. You also look at Mark. Mark doesn't play games and I'm referring to Markiplier. I'm sure you all know who Mark is. If I say Mark on the internet, I'm sure most people are familiar. But Markiplier lost all of his drive to play video games, and he only plays them for content. He does not play them in his free time. He plays board games and tabletop experiences, and he does things socially with his friends. That's not what he's doing in his free time because he burnt himself out. And when he does do things, another example of someone who may feel like it's a little, as a viewer with someone who has empathy, it kind of feels like a lesser experience almost because the person themselves doesn't want to do it. And I'm always gonna make content when I want to. I mean, if I have the drive to do it, I'm gonna do it. If I don't feel like doing it anymore, for real, if it's not some low moment where I feel like, man, I don't have motivation. Not having motivation is one thing, and not wanting to do something is another. If you don't want to do something, don't do it anymore. even if it makes you money, it's not making you happy. It's the same with celebrities. Like, if you don't enjoy acting, like, and you feel like you're acting just because it's your job, then it doesn't really matter how much money you make. You don't like acting anymore, and it's just kind of done for you. You shouldn't be doing things just to do them. There should be some sort of motivation. And to me, with content, there's always motivation, because there's games I want other people to see. I want someone to appreciate what I appreciate about this game. You know, whatever game that is. Whether that be some niche NES title or a game that everybody knows. Sometimes it just takes a video to expose someone to watch you play it. Sometimes it takes them being sold on an experience. Oh, I didn't set my marker. Like, sometimes a game can be the most well-known, most recognizable experience, and if you don't have if you don't have the drive to do it, sometimes watching a video can spark that drive. Like Dark Souls, for example. I did not want to play Dark Souls until I watched others play it. I wanted to feel how they felt. I wanted to be in that period where I felt like I was beating my head into the wall, but there was light at the end of the tunnel. And though it was difficult, it was manageable, and it actually had a very fun, scalable difficulty. But to me, fun is challenging. But to other people, fun is something like this, something that's mindless, something that you don't really have to 10K. Wow, that was a nutty little clip there. But like, fun is subjective. You know, fun is kind of per the user. If you don't find something fun, then it doesn't matter if someone else does. It's not fun to you. You know what I mean? Like, this is fun to me because I feel like I can just dick around and have cool results. Truly. My best moments in Skate are when I'm just messing around and I'm just flicking the stick around, and then I know what I'm doing. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to say I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm not like a pro. A lot of the cool moments are on accident. Like when I just built up that 28K, I was talking and just thinking. I was more in my head than I was in the game, and I still can visually look at something that's appealing, because I also love skating. I can't skate. I can't. I just don't have, I mean, I don't want to say I can't, but like, at the same time, I'm not willing to hurt myself like that. Skating requires so much injury. Like, you look at skaters and they're always bruised up. Like, I know that you can wear proper equipment, but that doesn't mean you're not going to hurt the shit out of yourself. It takes one extreme individual, truly, to be dedicated to skating. Like, you look at those people who go broken leg, after broken arm, after sprained wrist, and they're still skating. They have a love for what it is. And since I appreciate it as almost like an art, like, I mean, it's a sport more so, but like, I appreciate the culture. I appreciate a lot of what skating is. So to be able to feel like I can be in that, though I couldn't do that in real life, I feel very connected. And that's why I can totally get why some people love other sports games that I may not like. I'm not interested in, baseball per se, but a baseball game could make me feel way more connected to that experience than playing it in real life would, or even watching others play the sport. Like, there's an interactivity that is not present in watching TV or movies or like I was mentioning, sports. Like, that's why video games are awesome. Everyone knows it. It is a game in a sense. You're doing it to meet an end. In this game, I'm just trying to skate around. I mean, I know there's more things I can do, But you don't see me doing extended portions of the story because all I crave in a skating game is this. Like, say for sports games, for an example, there are people who want to be the manager of the team. There are people who want to be the people playing the positions. There are so many different niches as far as other sports are concerned. Like, it's all so tailored to the individual. So, like, a PGA Tour game is useless to me. But to someone who loves golf, or someone who used to play golf that can play golf, or like, there's such a wide variety of individuals where that appeals to. And though I don't like that, I can totally appreciate what that experience can provide an individual. And that's where I'm a video game advocate. I think that there are games for every demographic. Though the market doesn't tailor to certain demographics that much, there is a game for everyone. Truly. There is an experience out there that appeals to everyone. I know personally, my mother only plays certain games. But I know that she loves games. She loves Skyrim. Truly. She has spent years of her life probably in Skyrim. I'm sure my mother has spent a significant portion of time playing Skyrim. As far as just entertainment and fun goes, she spent a lot of time in that world, and it appeals to her. I love Skyrim, not as much as her, but I just love that is so possible. I wish people like my grandmother would realize that you can play games. I have a great grandma who has all the time in the world, but nothing to do. She has physical capabilities, but she can't really get around and go do things consistently much. So a person like her has built this idea in her head that she can't do that. I'm just not a person who plays games. But then you look on the internet and you watch someone's grandma who's, in their 80s playing, let me think of an example. Fallout, Skyrim, there's that Skyrim grandma, right? I remember seeing her on YouTube at one point or another, but she was playing consistently and doing let's plays. Anyone can do that. I think that's why people really consistently complain about the YouTube algorithm, is because they want to create what they love and still have that reach. And sometimes if you don't appeal to search terms and you don't appeal to certain parts of YouTube, you won't get that reach, and you won't get that visibility. And that's why people complain. People just think that they're just bitching for no reason. They're like, oh, you got all this stuff. But then you look at what they have to do to keep you. What they have to do to maintain such a wide audience is they have to go viral over and over and over again. And that can be exhausting, I'm sure. I am sure. I feel like having to top yourself and go viral over and over again is not, I feel like that's one of the most painful places to be as a content creator. The content creators people consistently tune into are those who just play because they want to play, and they're in it because they really want to show people what they're passionate about. Sometimes it is about experiencing a new experience that other people recommend you or other people think would be amazing. Sometimes a viral experience is a viral experience for a reason. To me, Minecraft is a phenomena for a reason. There is such appeal to what Minecraft has to provide. So that's been a staple in my childhood, and to me, Steve is my generation's Mario. As far as a concept created when they were alive that has penetrated in multiple forms. It's a movie coming up supposedly. It's inspired many content creators. It's the most known probably modern gaming experience, modern dating to 2012, 2014, whenever Minecraft came out. But the fact that it's evolved enough to keep up and stay relevant, I hate to say that the next generation's version of that is Fortnite, but I guess that's what it is, because it just uses all the other pop culture icons, and that's why it stays relevant. Like, Fortnite's just a sandbox. It's not a bad shooter. The mechanics of the game are decent. If people, I'm sure there are people who don't like Fortnite, but, like, as far as, like, the third-person shooter goes, it's good. You just may not like how it's themed. You may not like the community, and that's fine. I definitely understand. That's why I don't like Roblox. I'm sure that garners hate from somebody, but my friends were always playing Roblox and still play Roblox now, and I just don't like the mechanics of the game. I'm someone who is a very mechanic-forward kind of player. It has to be fun to play. That's why Minecraft's fun to play. You love playing around in that sandbox. My dad compares compares Minecraft to Legos all the time. Like, my dad literally talks about Minecraft being like a Lego game, and I understand his perspective on that. To a lot of people, Minecraft can be just a building simulator, and a lot of people are content in that. Like, not everyone does the survival experience, but a lot of people love it. To me, I love the community that Minecraft creates. Like, you can talk to so many people and they'll all know Minecraft, and it's in a good way. Sometimes that's in a toxic way with other games where it's like, if they're involved in this game, then they might be an asshole. Like, but other times, like with Minecraft, like, you could be 10 and I could talk to a 10-year-old and, you know, be like, so have you beat the Ender Dragon? Like, my cousins, like, I can keep up with them. I guess they're 12 now. It's hard to keep up with them aging. Wow, that makes me feel old. Not like old, but like getting older, you know? Like, I always looked at my, you know, 18 to 20-year-old relatives and be like, man, they're adults. And I'm like, shit, I'm not an adult. I do not feel like an adult. I'm sure they didn't either. But it's funny having my cousins perceive me as an adult now, when I'm not an adult. Not mentally. I don't feel like I'm prepared for anything. If I'm being completely honest, I don't feel like I'm truly prepared for like a real business job or anything. But I don't want that. I'm not gonna do what a lot of adults now consider to be a real job. I'm gonna do what's fun and makes me money, enough to survive. Like, obviously YouTube isn't my job. Like, YouTube is, I work it like a job almost. Like, I put a lot of time into YouTube, but it doesn't pay me like a job. So it's just my passion right now. And a lot of times, some of the greatest things are born in that state where it can't be your job because the universe hasn't proved that you can handle that yet. Sometimes I feel like, or you have not that you haven't proved yourself to the universe that you can handle that thing. Sometimes it's the fame. Sometimes it's the money. Sometimes it's the stress or the situation it takes to maintain all those things. But ultimately, like, that's just, I want to do this because it's fun. It's fun to feel like I'm, like, to me, being at 2K, I feel like there were YouTubers I watched at 2K and felt like they were super awesome. And the fact that even if a couple people who are subscribed think I'm awesome, or I think that they're like, they think that there's something that I can do that inspires them, or I don't know, like, seen comments that people post where it's like, keep it up, I want to see the next upload, or like, I don't know, that's a random example, or like, just the when people post, like, or I'm floundering here mainly because my mouth is getting really dry, and I'm hitting a little bit of fatigue as far as skate goes, because I typically just play this game for 45 or so minutes. Like, not gonna lie, like, I literally play for 15 to 45 minutes and then I switch to something else, because I feel like my ADHD makes me kind of just not be able to to focus sometimes and not really be able to I don't know, I don't feel satisfied unless I'm feeling accomplished sometimes. I also ramble a lot, and I'm sorry. I know that I've seen a couple people come in and out of stream, mainly during my rants. But I don't know. I feel like things happen for a reason. Me and Dad really, there's a reason that we made this channel. You know, there's a reason ultimately that we started making content, even if it's just as a personal catalog of our lives, to have an actual physical reminder, something that you can see and hear and remember when you did that. Like that's more powerful than a memory, especially to someone like me who unfortunately doesn't have the greatest memory. Like there are things that I did that I'm nostalgic towards that I don't remember much about. So to like, even if one thing that happens that's like super memorable and I get it on recording, then it was all worth it. And those things have already happened. Like, a lot of them have. A lot of memorable things to me. Like, hitting 2,000 subscribers, legitimately, I never thought that would be possible. I didn't. I mean, after my first channel that I created when I was younger that didn't do anything, I really just thought that was something that I wasn't able to do. So to know that I can make videos and I can captivate an audience, no matter the size, that's amazing to me. And I'm just going to continue doing this as long as I feel passion for it, and as long as I have motivation. And what we do may change, but that doesn't mean that doesn't mean that we don't still enjoy doing it. Because the reason we want to change stuff up sometimes is because we want to keep ourselves motivated. I've seen so many YouTubers retire or stop posting because they no longer felt the motivation, and I never want to lose that. So if that means that my interests lie in a different game or in a different sphere of interest, then that's where it'll go. I'm not saying like that we're gonna ever like jump the shark and completely stop playing games or change anything up, but like I'd love to branch out at some point and like talk about movies or something, or like, I know that that's more limited due to copyright reasons, but like I'd love to have more open discussions about varied topics. Even if we're playing a game, that's kind of what this concept is for a game like this. Like I feel like I can play, like, I mean, a video like this, sorry. I can play a game like Skate and just talk. I can talk to you. I can talk to a friend. I can talk to Dad. I can multitask this game, and it's easy to do. Even if I'm not always playing to the highest level, I feel like playing a game and talking to an audience or a friend, it's so satisfying. Like, you really feel like people know what you're talking about. Like, I don't know, when I talk about Minecraft, or I talk about Skate, or I talk about Halo, or I talk about these things that all these people have nostalgia for, I know that feeling, so I can already put myself in that position and feel like I'm with them. I'm almost with them. Like, in a sense, like, I feel like that community feeling is just like no other. When you play a game and you talk to someone else about a game you played and be like, man, wasn't this level so hard? Or, dude, that final boss was so fucking awesome. That is the best. Like, you can't tell me it's not. And I know I've ranted and rambled. I feel like I don't have much else to say. I know that this was supposed to start off as a trick video, or a skate spot video, and it kind of evolved into an open discussion casual stream, but I'm glad that you guys all were here to be with me, because at the end of the day, me and Dad really value the time that we have with our subscribers, and it means the world to be able to interact with all of you, even if it's just for a little bit, even if you just tune into one video or one stream. So this is just kind of just another thank you. I know we say it quite often. We aren't slow to thank you guys, but it's just like the strides we've gone through, like the amount of growth, the fact that we're in 700 something uploads. Can you guys believe that? Can you believe it? Like, I still can't believe that I posted a video every day. That was a little pet project of mine, a goal of mine. The fact that I was able to post a short every day for a whole year, like, that's wild. I haven't been able to dedicate myself to do that for other things in a long time. Like, or if at all, really. Like, I don't think I've ever done something every day for a year, now that I think about it. So, like, wow. I don't know. I've rambled enough. I should probably eat something. I'm kind of hungry right now, actually, and I feel like that's why, I don't know, like, it's hard to stay on topic and stay, like, I lose brain power if I don't have something to eat. Like, I become slowly stupider when I'm hungry. So instead of hangry, I'm whatever the combination of hungry and stupid would be. I'm also just such an overthinker. Like, I've mentioned that I have ADHD, but I feel like sometimes I'm just aggressively thinking about too many things, and I just expend all of my energy. Can anyone else relate to that? Where you feel like you think too intensively to the point where you're exhausted. You're almost mentally and physically exhausted. Like, so sometimes I feel like that's almost why I eat so much. And like, I don't know, once I started eating healthier things, like, I'm not overweight anymore. So, like, my body in general, like, regardless, just takes a lot of energy to keep going. So I don't know. Now I'm ranting again. I'm sorry. I was trying to end this at an hour. I'm so very sorry. But thank you guys once again. As always, it's been Bray from the Vid-Bits. Enough of my ranting and rambling. Thank you for sticking with us to the end of the video.